I am so excited to speak to our guest today. She is a aesthetic injector, a national aesthetic trainer, and a national speaker. Please help me to introduce aesthetic injector Yvonne.
Thank you, Jonathan, for having me. I'm honored to be here today.
Thank you for joining me on the show. I have so many questions for you, so let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
Hi, my name is Jonathan McLean, and I'm the founder and CEO of McLean Aesthetics.
Welcome to the dark side.
Let's go.
So Yvonne, you have done so much in your career. Tell us a little bit of kind of how you got into this industry. Take us back.
You know, it was never my intentions to be an aesthetic injector. I went to grad school to do reproductive medicine. So I have identical twin boys from IVF, and so that was my love at the time. So I chose family practice, so I didn't specialize too much in one field like women's health. And then I started out of grad school doing reproductive medicine, and that didn't quite work out for me. And I was looking for work, couldn't find a job, and aesthetics was the only thing available at the time. And that was in January of 2014. So I worked for a large med spa chain that was nationwide. I did everything from laser hair removal, IPL, injectables. And my first year was a real struggle because I spent so much time in grad school learning how to diagnose, treat, prescribe. And then I got into this industry and I was like, okay, all I'm doing is assessing Fitzpatrick's and wrinkles, right? So for the first year I struggled. It wasn't as popular. It still had a stigma at that time. But what I saw was the change it made in my patients. And it was really empowering. And so I thought, I don't need to be at the bedside diagnosing and prescribing. I can be at the chair side having an impact and making a difference.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. And I'm glad you actually brought that point up because what type of stigma did you see back then?
My mother, she went to her dermatologist and he's like, she's injecting Botox out of a pop-up shop. And my mom was like, I think you need to listen to him. And I said, no, he's old. He needs to know things are changing. And I'm a medical professional as well. I have a license and this is legit. Times are changing. So really, I stood up for myself. And after a year and a half of working nationwide, I went independent and I built Results Medical Aesthetics and Weight Loss. So I've owned that since 2015. I've rebranded into Aesthetico. I have multiple locations. And then I started the training center 5 years ago when I saw that we weren't being trained efficiently. And now, I mean, look at us now. We are the everything. There's trainers everywhere. So it's still fun to watch the growth.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's so many exciting things in your career I definitely want to touch on. But between you starting and you getting to, opening up all these centers, how did you build your brand? Because you're obviously a brand, right? How did you build that? How can an injector go from just injecting your office to really a brand?
You know what? I truly believe in word of mouth. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing, and it's never paid off the way my students speak about me. I don't ask them to speak about me. It's just I connect with them. I love them. I'm truly passionate about what I do, and I think it speaks for itself. And they talk about me. They are the ones that got us to Institute of the Year last year. So I think it's just adding value, showing up, being that cheerleader for my students, because I know what it was like to not have a trainer. I know what it was like to have to read out of a book to teach myself how to do what I was doing, and the lack of mentorship and support. And so I made it my mission to be there, to be supportive, to be empowering, to be encouraging. And truly, I think that's what's evolved, is just me showing up, being my authentic self and adding value. And I'm very surprised at the brand I've built and the recognition I've built, because it wasn't ever about me. It was about how can I serve, how can I build community and be supportive.
Yeah, no, definitely. Starting off, did you know like the industry was going to get as big as it is right now, or?
I had no idea. Had no idea. And I had no idea that my career would blow up. I had no idea I would ever be asked to be an advisory board member. I mean, I was just sent to Vienna with Merz in November. I mean, that is like, wait, I mean, like this girl grew up on food stamps and welfare. That was never an option for me, right? So I just love, I mean, I do a lot of coaching now and I show others what is possible. Like we limit ourselves more than we realize we do. And I think once we start believing in ourselves, then the universe gives us whatever it is our little soul desires.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with that more. Really putting out what you want and having attention, definitely going after what you want and don't give up for sure, for sure. Now you are a board member for Merz. Tell us, how did you get that? What has that done for your career? How impactful has that been?
Oh my gosh. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for companies that look at the small people, right? Because I was just a small injector in Utah. But I think I just grew such a great relationship with my rep. And I've been doing community events for 4 years, just adding value to the injector community. And I think they recognized that. And so they brought me in and supported that effort. They support all my training efforts. So I'm extremely grateful for a company that sees my hard work. And I love being a part of their company by representing their products, which I love. I love training on their products. And so I think it was a win-win, but I'm extremely grateful for that opportunity because it helped others recognize me and see me. And it really blew up my whole career.
Yeah, for sure. How important is the rep's position? Like, how closely should you be to your rep in your office?
100%. They are there to serve you. They're there to help you grow because the more successful you become, the more successful they become. And I think what people fail to recognize is oftentimes they're like, what's in it for me? What can you do for me? No, flip the coin. What can I do to help you? How can I serve you? How can we grow together? How can we, create community and empower and inspire the injectors to get better? Because when we all get better, then our patients feel that impact. They see the difference. It's absolutely significant that we all rise together and support each other. And truly, I live by that. And I think that's where I've been blessed with this abundance is I believe there's enough for everyone. And I truly believe if you help enough people get what they want, you will always have what you want. And my reps are my friends. I want to see them succeed. And they too want to see me succeed. And so we do a lot together, a lot for our community.
Nice, nice. Now I want to talk about continuous education. How much realistically did you have to invest each year to really stay on top of your game?
Last year, I spent $86,000 alone in education. I know, but this is my thing. I don't expect everyone to do that. What I tell my students is once you've taken your foundational course, there's so much free education out there for you. Ex-Medica has tons of free education. You can get CEU credits.
Yes.
Every company has their own institute. Merz has an institute, Allergan, Galderma, Prolenium. They all have ongoing education that is free. They want you educated. They want you to stay on top of your game. And so they provide us with all this free education. We just have to be resourceful. We got to go after it. We got to look for it. And Jonathan, if you looked at my library, I have every single book in aesthetics that I can get my hand on. And I share that content with my students, with my community, but I'm always reading. I'm looking at research articles. I'm meeting the authors of my books. And I'm like, because I'm putting myself out there, I like study their content, their work, and then I'm like, I want to meet this person. So I'm still trying to meet Jean Carruthers, the real guru behind Botox. I'm hoping to meet her at scale. But that's like, I want to just pay that gratitude to them for all their hard work and efforts. But I'm constantly learning from books and free education, as well as putting in a lot of time and money for the best education, as well as business education.
Yes, yes. No, I can definitely understand. And I'm glad you mentioned all those free sources. I'm going to list them below because I checked them out myself. And you're right. There's tools you can learn for free on your spare time, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Now, being a trainer, I'm sure you see so many injectors. What are some key things that you can see in an injector and know, hey, I think this one's going to be a good one, or I think this one's going to be good in her career or his career?
it's the mindset. Every single time. I coach injectors all the time. I'm the aesthetic injector coach, and it's limiting beliefs. It's their mindset. A lot of them want it, but if you don't believe in yourself, believe that you're going to get really, really good, and you got to put the work in, right? So many people get on Instagram and they compare their day one to somebody's 5 years. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're creating more limiting belief, more self-doubt, more insecurities, more fears. And you cannot do that because that will never serve you. So I always say, is this serving you or is this sabotaging you? So we need to change the way we think. We need to change the way we feel. And we need to change our actions. So if it's not serving you, you got to eliminate that. But I mean, our students do amazing. I keep in touch with them. I mentor them. I keep tabs on them because I will be that cheerleader that pushes them to excellence. I don't let them spend the money and just give up. That's not an option. It's a lot of money to take one of my trainings. And so I want to make sure that I help them and I set them up for success. And I will tell you, Jonathan, those that pick up what I put down, their rate of success is catapulted because I've already failed in all these areas. So let me save you from failing. Let me teach you what I've done to get where I'm at. And you can do it within a year or two. It won't take you 9 years like it took me. And I have students that go from course day one to 7 figures their first year. In fact, I have my own medical conference, and every year I have one of our students speak and tell their story. So this year we're having Shannon from the Midwest come out, and she's telling her story. She's got a huge practice. So I'm excited to have her.
Nice. What is your medical conference? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's every August in Park City. And so I've been doing these community events, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger. And I got thinking, there's not a real medical conference for injectors in Utah. Okay, I'm going to have the #1 top injector, summit is really what it is. So it's called My Summit, MAAI, which is Medical Aesthetic Art Institute. So it's My Summit. It's in Park City, August 25th, 26th, and 27th. And we have the top injectors, physicians from all over the country flying in to teach. So we have Dr. Steve Weiner from Florida teaching rejuvenation and ultrasound. We have Dr. Jonathan Sykes coming in for anatomy and liquid rhinoplasty. We have Jesse from New York, Heather from the East Coast, and we have injectors from all over teaching their techniques, their tips, their tricks. So it's going to be amazing. It was fantastic last year. So we're going to do it again.
Wow, amazing. I'm going to drop that below so everybody can join. That sounds like an amazing time for sure.
Yeah, we'd love to have you come if you ever get the opportunity.
Yes, yes. Now, I wanted to go back and talk about mindset. Like, your mindset seems to be amazing. Like, a lot of the things you're talking about, I practice myself and I've seen it work. So I know it's real. How did you develop that mindset? How did you get into that zone?
Okay, I've had a really, really hard life. I was kicked out of school, kicked out of my home. I dropped out of school in 9th grade. I was 14, kind of living on friends' couches, on the streets, wherever I could. And when I was 17, I just knew there was something bigger for me. So I got back into school because I always wanted to be a cheerleader. So I've always been very goal driven. So I've done whatever it takes to meet those goals. And so became a cheerleader, ended up graduating high school early, and moving to the East Coast to get far away from my upbringing. So my upbringing was food stamps, welfare. And although my mom did her best, she was married multiple times. Her last husband, she married in prison. He was abusive to her. And I just knew I didn't want that for myself. So I knew, like, I started really getting into self-help in my early 20s. One book that changed my life, Jonathan, true story, Judge Judy wrote, and it was Beauty Fades, Dumb as Forever. And I don't know what it was in that time of my life, but that book changed my life. And so from then, I just kept trying to do better. I just knew if I got an education, I would never have to put my food back in the grocery line. Because growing up, my parents would either steal it or they put it back because they couldn't afford it. And I didn't want that for myself. I didn't ever want my kids to worry about where their next meal was coming from. Now, again, my parents did the best they knew how, the best that they could on their conscious level, right? So I just went to school and I just kept, when you go to college, I think the best thing it does for you is it gives you that self-worth. You work so hard no one can take that from you. It's the self-worth you gain more so much as the education, right? So then I just was like, when I was 14 and I was kicked out of the house and on birth control, my nurse practitioner had such an impact in my life. That's why I'm a nurse practitioner today. It's because she didn't judge me. She showed love and compassion to me, and she helped me when I didn't have the parental support and help that I needed. It was my family nurse practitioner that helped me. So I thank her still to this day. She's got a very special place in my heart. And so that's why I'm a nurse practitioner. And then again, all my reproductive issues, I thought I'd do reproductive medicine so I could make a difference and have an impact. But really, I think our life's calling changes and takes us where we're meant to be. And although people think I teach Botox and fillers, what I'm teaching is I'm teaching women how to love themselves, how to believe in themselves, how to create the life that they want for themselves without those limiting beliefs, right? Once we remove those obstacles, those limiting beliefs, we are truly unlimited and we have so much to offer. So I just want to help other women step into their fullest potential, live the life that they were sent here to be living. So that's truly what I think my mission is.
Awesome, awesome. And to back to your point, you never know who's really impacting you, and you're doing the same thing. You're passing it forward and impacting other people. So that's amazing.
The energy it gives me, the fuel, I mean, like, I have an amazing life. It's not the things I can buy. It's not the house that I live in. It's the fulfillment when I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. I'm in alignment with that. And that's what fuels me. I can go nonstop and I have so much energy because I truly am living what I believe is what I was supposed to be doing. So it's a very rewarding and beautiful life.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure your schedule is so packed. How does that work-life balance, how does that work out for you?
It is hard. I'm not going to lie. I have a personal assistant all the time. I have someone that travels with me. I have a big team. I have 14 or 15 employees right now. Can't even keep track of, but they're amazing. And I couldn't do what I do without them. I will not lie. My assistants do get burnout because we travel so much and we go so much. I will not lie. My marriage has been on the rocks because I'm never home. I'm very transparent and I'm very open to share all of that. I think Instagram, it's deceiving. I think it doesn't really portray what's truly happening behind the scenes. I do have an amazing family life, home life, but if you don't water it, it's going to die, right? If you don't nurture it, it's going to die. And it's so easy to get caught up in your career and your success, and especially coming from where I've come from, right? It's very fulfilling to know that I've reached some of these goals that my family, I have 5 sisters and they're still living paycheck to paycheck. And so I really wanted a better life for myself and my family, but there's sacrifice for sure, 100%. And I don't know that there truly is a balance. I do my best to try to find that. I literally have to delete the Instagram app off my phone every day after I post when I need to post, because it's all too consuming and I don't think it's healthy for us. So I do my best, but I love people. I love my family. I love my coworkers, my employees, and I really just try to express that. But I mean, I drop F-bombs occasionally. It does get overwhelming too. So
Is social media like essential for a career of a aesthetic injector?
sorry. I think we have construction workers. My assistant went out there to turn them off. I'm so sorry. Say that again.
Is social media essential for the career of aesthetic injector?
I really do think in the beginning, yes. I think it's a great way to build your brand, build your community, build your network. I think you need to put yourself out there and let people know, because really, if you look at the research, our customers are coming to our social media to know who we are before they come to our chair. So yes, unfortunately, I do believe that. I think if you started in the industry even 5-10 years ago and built your clientele, you don't rely on that so much. But if you're just starting now, but at the same time, Jonathan, it's so beautiful because now I have friends all over the world that I've met at conferences that I get to follow on social media. So I think you have to learn to use social media. Don't let it use you. So I think you need to really be mindful of unfollow those people that don't make you feel good about yourself. Unfollow those people that put out drama, gossip. Yeah, you don't need any of that in your life. Life is already challenging enough.
I agree. I agree 100%. How do you gain longevity in your career?
I really just think like when you find what you love, you're not going anywhere. This is not work for me. And that's why it's hard to balance, right? It's because I can go nonstop. I go all in. I work long days, long hours. Anyone that follows me on social media knows I'm traveling nonstop. I do 4,000 miles a month on my car. I'm in a different city every week. But that's not work for me because it's my passion. I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. So if you want longevity, you have to work on your building your brand and your identity, right? Let people speak about you and be mindful of how you want them to speak about you because they will grow your business for you. And then as long as what you're doing is fueling you and giving you energy, you will have longevity. You'll stay in business. And I'm a huge believer in running your business debt free. Everything I own is paid for. I don't buy anything if I don't have the cash to do it. But I started really small and I've been really small for a long time. But that will give you longevity over time, is being very smart with your money and managing your business appropriately.
I'm very interested to get your perspective on what aesthetic procedures do you feel like are trending right now in the market?
Oh, PDO threads are really hot right now. Silfirm, the RF microneedling is really hot right now. I don't think Botox and fillers are ever going to go anywhere. They're just going to keep getting better and better. And I'm praying that someone comes up with something for those that are resistant, because I'm resistant. So our industry is just going to keep growing. I think it's a beautiful thing that we get to take care of ourselves, however that looks. Like if you're getting your teeth cleaned every 6 months, why aren't you getting your Botox every 3 months, right? So I think it's, your prerogative on how you want to take care of your body. But I don't see our industry slowing down or going anywhere. I think especially with social media, we're always taking selfies. We want to look like our filters. It's a love-hate relationship, but we do feel better as humans. We feel better when we look our best. We act our best when we look and feel our best. So I love our industry.
Yes, yes. Now, I always like to give some takeaways to the audience. What conferences do you think might be good for injectors to attend?
Hands down, my favorite is the Aesthetic Next with Tiffany and Justin. That's in Dallas every September. I've grown and learned so much and met so many people there. Spa is a great one as well. Oh my gosh, there's so many wonderful. Of course, my summit, if you're, open to flying to the mountains. But there's a lot of injectors are coming out with their own as well, which is great. So yeah, I mean, there's tons to choose from. I just was in Miami last week at AMWC, and I got to meet people from Australia, South Africa, London. I got to meet people from all over the world. That's
wow.
fantastic. Yeah, like go big, right? Meet people from everywhere. So, and I always say, don't go to a conference and leave without making at least 3 friends that are going to change your career. Help each other grow, create a meeting that you can keep in touch and run things off, like share ideas, meet up at other conferences, create 3 powerful networking community, or 3, powerful networks where you can build community together across the country. And it's the best thing ever. It will really change your career.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What does a global perspective, I guess, mean to you then?
Global perspective, so many other countries are so much more advanced than we are. So if we can learn what's coming and we can foresee what's coming to the US, then we're on our A game, right? We're ahead of the curve. And then just relationships, they are going to see things and experience things that maybe we haven't seen. Complications, for example, products that are coming out. And it's just, it's a beautiful thing to have friends all over the world. It truly is, to learn and meet people with different cultures and different thoughts and different, perspectives. I think it's just fantastic. I think it makes us better individuals to be more broad and, have a wider perspective.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Besides yourself, who are some other key opinion leaders that you can suggest for the audience?
You know, I have to say there's been some people that have really had an impact on me. My good friend, Dr. Sunil Chillicurry, he's a dermatologist in Houston. That guy is just always positive, always generous, always kind. He's such an example to me. I love Jubilant Julie, right? Her complications. I built the Aesthetic ER kit for the industry, and it was her inspiration, her experiences, her story that has helped me get through that and create that. I love Lori and Gideon on the East Coast in California. Those two, they put out so much content, so much education. They do so much for this industry. I just have friends all over. I mean, Larry in Florida, I mean, he's been a great support for me in my career. Scott at Dolce Vita, I love his symposiums. He's brought so many injectors together. He has really helped my career so much because he's connected me with so many people. So I have so many friends to thank for my success, for being a part of my career, being a part of my journey. I can't name them all, but I'm so grateful to each and every one of them.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you so much, Yvonne, for sitting down with me, speaking more about the aesthetic industry. Tell everybody where they can find you and what you got planned next.
Yeah, so you can really follow me on Instagram at Medical Aesthetic Art Institute. My personal Instagram is the best of Yvonne. It's kind of just my life. You'll find me at the gym every morning at 5 a.m. It's my family life, but I'm out here trying to live my best life. So
Awesome, awesome. Until next time, bye.
Jonathan, see ya.